hello again. Now, final test of the big screen. It's blown a hoolie, 20 mile an hour winds today. And notice, so several of you subscribers commented, including the Watchman, thank you for the most in-depth description on why you drill your screen. It neutralises the resistance. So we'll not go far, we'll just do a quick run to see how this works. If it doesn't really work, we'll go back to the short screen. Okay? And we'll get off day one and I'll come back to you. So what I'll just do is the same run as this film with a short screen. So I'm just going to take it round the block and back home. Oh, watch out. There's a whole load of work going on here with the, I guess it's all the installation of the power coming from the wind turbines out of the offshore. So if you can justify ploughing up perfectly good, rich, green agricultural land in East Lothian for power lines that will feed electric to the south of our country, i.e. over the border, well, I'd like to hear the explanation. Well, I don't actually, because I'm not interested. There you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. So a lot of you were glad to see me back out on my 350. And of course you're going to keep seeing the 350 on the channel. Now we'll come back on that track, okay? So I meant to stop to show you something. We have the LOMO Panniers on. Now, I'll talk about that when we stop. I'm also out. Lots of new things. New panniers. New boots. Used trousers. Behind Garrick trousers. Beautiful, eh? Look at that. Oh, roof's coming down. So I noticed coming down the A1, a bit less turbulence, but you'll probably still not hear the mic in that strong wind. So these are brilliant, the front gas tank bags. So you'll notice I've got cable ties. They do have 4 fixing straps built on the back. It seemed easiest to fit them like that. I can't find much info on fitting these by other folk. They're going to stay on. I've got my puncture kit in that, and I'll have a couple of OS maps in that one. Keep the weight light on the front, as somebody did tell me, for your headset bearings. See, I'm listening to your comments. Now, these are 25 litre pannier bags. Again, 4 fitments. I've just had to college these on with cable ties, which isn't ideal because I'd wanted to take them off. However, I have a Co-op 20 litre bag that fits in them. One of these bags for life, strong bags. So I can put all my stove and stuff in there. My only concern, this is why I didn't buy the 30 or whatever they are, 35 or 40 litre LOMO Pannier bags that have the whole thing complete, you know, the shoulder, is the pipe. And look, now I've put a litre container of water in there, an Nalgene container, just to see. You can see that. I think that's going to be a problem, which is a reason some adventure bikes have a lower exhaust, I believe. Anyway, and that's a common thing with trail bikes, is getting panniers on. I'm struggling to get this one any higher. Now I have seen welded on straps on folks' bikes and they slot it on. I don't want to have to go down that route. So what I'm going to do with this one is just carry unnecessary, invaluable stuff that if it does burn a hole and gets wrecked, it doesn't matter. And I've still got to get the tank bag, but I've spent enough this month. So I've got the Gore, or the Gern, Gore-Tex boots. I had a pair of these back in 1990. They were brilliant. I seem to remember mine having a gear change bit there. Anyway, let's nip up this track. So the Himalayan trousers, they're brilliant. They're Corduro. They've got leather on the knees and the backside, and they've got a Gore-Tex liner. You do feel wet in these in the rain, but I remember in the past they soon dry out quickly. So avoid these puddles. So there you go. Now the last test will be back up the A1 into that wind. These are so comfy. I remember having them before. I did a lot of miles in these trousers, my last pair I had. So these were, I think, 55 quid in postage from eBay. I mean, they were offers, so I put an offer on and got them. There was also a jacket by the same seller, but it was a size large. So I'm a 36 waist in trousers, and these are an XL. And they fit me, but I can feel it. But they're not tight. I can put my hands up in the pockets. That's a good sign that you're not wearing trousers too tight. So I'm just waiting on a double XL touring jacket turning up. And I go with the theory of a cheaper jacket that this will not last long in the winter, this jacket. I know it's a wax jacket, but you can't beat like an ex-army over jacket on top. And I'll just wear a cheap second-hand enduro style jacket. It's weird, eh? It's like Mr. Ben, you've got a different uniform to wear on different bikes. It's not quite like that, but the denim jeans I've got, the armoured jeans, they're great. But the biggest problem with them is once they get wet. So these boots, my last pair I used to stand in streams with them. That's how waterproof they are. And I tell you who else raves about them, of course, is good old Nathan the Postman. So let's see what this screen's like. I don't expect to be able to talk into this wind up here. So that's at 60. But I'm not feeling it. I'll put up subtitles so you can hear me talking, alright? Yeah, I'm not feeling it too bad. Catching the helmet a wee bit there. That's really windy. Wow. Oh. So that's the bike set at 70, ideal. Absolutely ideal. That is windy. So no matter what screen you're riding, you won't comment in that wind on your camera while riding. You know what, I'm not going to change this back to a small screen today. What's the point? Not this now. I'm going to leave that on for a few days. I've also got to ride this when there's no wind at all. I had a tailwind down the A1 there. But I'm going to give it the chance to see what it's like. But it wasn't unbearable coming up there. White van behind. White van must get through. He'll be going up here. Now, what does that tell you when there's a lot of tankers at our waterworks? There's definitely something wrong, isn't there? Cheers! Oh, that gear change. New boots, I'll blame them. Breezy, breezy. Right, I'll come back up the hill when we get a bit of a view, okay? Nice just to get out a wee run round the back roads. So we know the low screen's quiet enough for filming, right? That's fine. What we'll do, rather than change it and I'll go out, we'll just put up at the end my thoughts after I'll edit it up. And it'll just be either yes, small screen for round about the doors, or no, this big screen's alright, but I can see it being the small screen already.
So quick voiceover just as I was editing this up. So I thought I'd never hear my own voice coming up on A1 in that wind at 70. It was kind of hitting my left side, sort of diagonally, being a southwesterly, and the road runs west, but the sound quality is more than good enough to use. Result.
It doesn't seem to have the vibration of the EFI 500 bullets, but it seems to be that kind of in between the bullets of old and the J series and newer Enfields with things like electrics and stuff. But it's all stuff that seems to be able to have workarounds and stuff you can live with. And I think there's too many people nowadays probably buy a bike and they expect not a single vibration, nothing at all, and they expect, I don't know what they expect actually, it's a motorbike. It's part of owning a bike it is a character. Somebody doesn't like me using the word character for a motorbike, but a motorbike does have a character. Everything has a character. Building has a character. Hills have character. You know. But it's a good bike. And a day like this with this blustery wind, no camera's going to record good sound. You all are happy with our sound of the last couple of films, so that's fine. That's all good. Now, I did get a weird comment by someone saying, I think you need to buy a better camera or a newer camera. I'm like, just bought a new DJI. And if you think this camera's not good, God, you don't want to entertain a GoPro then. Mucking around with a media mod and wires on cables for microphones and everything. I don't know anyone that's went from a GoPro to DJI and went back. No, don't know anyone. And you know, we're amateurs playing around on motorbikes doing this. It's going to have a bit of roughness about it, of course it is. If you rewind to 2010, when I first was on YouTube, it was about 2008 I think, it was like 360 cameras, as in 360 format. And when 1080 came out, that was like going to the moon. So anybody expects to watch a channel like mine doesn't really make any money, just enough to put petrol in the tank. So you spending thousands of pounds on equipment for films that get about 1,200 views. Well, I think you're on the wrong channel, mate. Anyway, you can see that comment and you'll see my response. I'll leave it up if anybody's want to add something to that chat. Feel free. I love it up here. I was going to go a cycle this morning, but I put it off through kind of laziness, must admit. I used the wind as an excuse, and the tide wasn't right out. I was going to go up the beach. Dunbar always looks great, I think. Real sort of seaside town. Look at it with its big church. That's their classic seaside town, isn't it? The church has been such an important thing to a town that at one time relied on fishing as its income. And with the related fishing disasters over the years and men lost and storms and stuff, you can see why it's got its focal point. Times seem to have changed a bit, not for fishing, but well, for the amount of folk that fish. But life moves on. So, let us know what you think. Should we get some type of heat-proof tape that sticks on that? Can we get something? Does anyone have a link to heat-proof tape that will work on that? Be good to put something on it before it gets all filthy. But they're not too wide, as you can see. They're not massive big wind catching bags. I noticed that with the boxes, they catch the wind. As I say, I've got, that's just going to have stove and stuff in it. Wee bit clothes and stuff. This one will probably end up just having, that'll be the one I put the food and stuff in. And if it burns, it burns. Or if it knackers up, it does. I'll add a can of tire weld as well to my puncture kit. Because you don't always want to end up doing a puncture, do you? So that age, if you've got it, you won't need it. It's funny because I've come out and make an 8-10 minute film for you. I just want to keep riding. But I need to get a hold of Farmer Chris today and see if he'll... it's easier if there's two folk, put that new exhaust on my Jeep, because I need to do a video on my Jeep. I'll try and get that done today when it's as windy. It's not a day for going far, I think, in this wind. Though if he wants, we'll take the Jeep out, because it needs a run. Which is probably why my exhaust is rotted out after only 4 or 5 years. With all the short runs it does. It's an interesting junction this, isn't it? But when you've got likes of works vans and things scooting about, and more so in the harvest with tractors, you've got to just be careful. The balance! I know this is me, I talk about one thing, go straight to another subject. The balance on this bike when you roll up a junction is phenomenal. There's no flip-flop of the handlebars or anything. Don't say in the comments that's because your headstock bearings are shot. They're not. They're fine. I will over winter take the top yoke off and drop the steerer tube a bit, and I'll repack the bearings. And on the same day I'll repack the swing arm and the shock mounts. I had not planned to ride this in winter when I've got a half trashed bike already with winter salt to use. But I can't see nice dry cold days be getting out a run on this. And as mentioned in comments, these when they're packed up, filled, work is good. Keep the cold off your knees. I've already noticed though how much warmer the Toric jeans are, or windproof, how much better they are than the denim jeans. Because it's getting to that time of year now, I'd be putting waterproofs on with the denim jeans. It's on that borderline, isn't it? Summer stroke autumn. It'll start getting nippy in the mornings going to work, and then gets nippier at night when the sun's down. So in other news, watch artist on a motorbike. Scotsman who seems to live south of the border, but he does a film this morning. I watched it, good. It's about the history of pubs, inns, taverns and booze. And it's quite an interesting article. There's a lot of historical facts in it that you might be surprised you didn't know about. And as usual, there's that wind again. A lot of it is to do with the Romans. Romans did a lot of stuff when they came to Britain. But they basically reinforced pubs and drinking, didn't they? By trying to make us drink wine. Okay folks, I think we'll call this a day. Thank you so much for all the great comments, really useful comments as well. It's potatoes getting harvested. Time of year for it, isn't it? Alright then, from me to you, goodbye, and we'll see you, I don't know where, we'll be somewhere over the weekend, and we'll get some film, okay? Bye for now.